This is the Ruger 1022. Given the fact that there have been 7 million of these bad boys sold, odds are you're familiar with it. As the saying goes, there are many like it, but this one is mine. In fact, my mom and my stepdad got this rifle for me for my 13th birthday after I completed the Colorado Hunter Ed course, which means in a few months here, it's going to be 30 years old. But I still take it out, quite a bit actually, and I shoot it, and when I do, I always have a good time. But these days, that old wood stock and flip-up rear sight are looking a bit long in the tooth. Enter the Luth AR MCA 22 rimfire chassis by Roth Performance. Yup, that's the same gun with a different stock. Made in the USA, the MCA 22 promises to be a cost-effective, 100% ambidextrous, fully adjustable stock made for all body types. It's important to note that I've known the designer of this chassis for years. Mark Roth has been on my podcast, shot a ton of matches with him. I bought a shotgun from his company, and he's definitely helped me out with several projects over the years. Back to this. I got to handle the 3D printed prototype of this chassis a couple years back at the Gadsden Shotgun Championship, but I wasn't allowed to take any pictures or video. So when Mark offered to send me the MCA 22 for evaluation, I was pretty excited. Now holding this chassis in my hands, it's really impressive, and for one main reason: modularity. Which is actually what the M in MCA stands for, modular. The other two words are chassis and assembly. Consider most people's use cases for a 1022. Plinking, hunting, maybe a rimfire steel challenge match. With an adjustable length of pull, comb, butt pad, and cheek riser to get the perfect fit for each individual. Adults teaching kids to shoot can use the same rifle, adjust it for different body sizes, and pass it back and forth. This chassis gives you the option to reconfigure for growing bodies or different applications. Again, I've had this rifle for 30 years, and it's been in a ton of different configurations, from straight iron sights to having a cheap scope on top, to having a Venom red dot, and now to having the Vortex Diamondback 6-24 on it. Having an adjustable chassis like the MCA 22 means that you can fine-tune the gun to fit you and your application. It also has an abundance of M-lock options, a spot to install a QD cup for your sling, and even a front sling swivel hole if you're into that sort of thing. There's even a removable insert if you want to upgrade to a bull barrel. The MCA 22 installs with one screw, but the fit and precision on this glass-filled nylon chassis is tight, which means that there is no slop or wobble when the action and barrel are installed. The last thing you want is your rifle rattling around when you're trying to get hits. And the quality on this chassis is extremely high. It's not just some cheap chunk of plastic. It's glass-filled nylon with aluminum subcomponents. It feels very sturdy, and that should come as no surprise to anyone familiar with Luth AR. Randy Luth is the Luth in that right there, and he's actually the guy that started and grew DPMS Panther Arms before selling to Freedom Group. Randy and his team have a ton of experience in manufacturing, and when you couple that with a clever design from Mark at Roth Performance, you get an extremely high quality product like the MCA 22. Okay, but how does it shoot? Well, to figure that out, I headed out to my local range to shoot at the 22 Bay, which is basically a bunch of scrap mild steel that's always fun to plink on. I got a quick 0 on the Diamondback, which was super easy because I was shooting a max of 58 yards, and then I started plinking. For the inevitable YouTube reviewer, this is a 25 round magazine. So the chassis felt great. I liked the way it was set up for me. Looking at the video here, it looks like I'm sitting a little bit back on the cheek piece. So what I would do is shorten that length of pull just a little bit, like one more notch, and then move the scope forward a little, because the scope was perfect. I saw through it equally well in prone, seated, and in offhand. So I think that little bit of an adjustment, bringing in the length of pull, shortening it up just a little bit, and then moving the scope forward would make a world of difference here. Oh. Okay, this is too much fun. Now I did try some shooting offhand just to see how it feels, and yes, it was great. This is a scope on 6 power, so even though I'm bringing the rifle up fast, it is kind of hard to acquire the target at only 50 yards that I was shooting at. But with a little bit of work on a red dot, I'm sure it would be amazing. I have to admit that I was a bit skeptical about the grip on this. I shoot a lot of AR-15s, and at first glance this looks a little bit goofy in comparison, but after getting several hundred rounds on the chassis and rifle combo, I actually like the way it has my thumb in this neutral grip right here. Competitive shooters have long been aware of a thumb's influence on a gun on different platforms. Having that neutral grip definitely contributes to repeatability and practical accuracy, which means what can you do with the chassis when you need to. And I did try the classic seated at a range position, and as you would expect, it was perfect. What do you think of the Luth AR MCA22 chassis? Leave a comment down below. For me, with each update or upgrade, I like my 1022 more, and I recently discovered that since Ruger's patents have expired on the 1022 and dang near everyone makes one, the accessory aftermarket on these bad boys has exploded, which is good timing for the MCA22 and good for a person like me because my monkey brain is constantly distracted by new and shiny things, and I'm kind of thinking I need to build a precision 1022 with a billet receiver and a bull barrel. But that's a talk for another day. In the meantime, check out this video right here. I'm sure you're gonna love it, and thank you for watching.